Hello class and welcome back to Math with Mr. Head. Today we're going to continue to talk about dividing a decimal by a decimal, and we're going to look at some word problems. In our last lesson we learned how to divide a number when we have a decimal in the divisor. The first step is to move the decimal into the divisor to the right to make it a whole number. After we move the decimal in the divisor, we also have to move the decimal in the dividend. So we move the decimal in the dividend the same number of places to the right. Then, step 3, we divide as if it were a whole number. And then step 4, we place the decimal in the quotient by moving it up from the dividend. Let's take a look at a couple of word problems here to see if we can remember how to do this. Okay, class, let's take a look at this first problem. Oranges are 35 cents a piece at the market. Jason has $4.20. How many oranges can Jason buy? So we want to find out how many oranges he can buy. And we know that he has $4.20 with him, and that each orange is going to cost him 35 cents. So in order to solve this problem, I'm going to divide $4.20 by 35 cents. Now you'll notice in this problem that I have a decimal in my divisor. So when there's a decimal in the divisor, the first step is to move that decimal over to the right to make that a whole number. So I'm going to go ahead and move that over 2 places and make that a 35. Now my second step is to do the same thing, move my decimal in my dividend the same number of places. So since I moved my decimal in my divisor 2 places, I'm going to have to move this decimal 2 places as well, which that means if I move it 2 places, my decimal is going to be here. So now I move on to step 3 and divide these as if they were whole numbers. So 35, or 420 divided by 35. 35 will not go into 4, but 35 will go into 42 one time. So 1 times 35 is 35. 42 minus 35 is 7. I'll bring down the 0. 35 will go into 70 2 times. 2 times 35 is 70. 70 minus 70 is 0. So my answer is 12. Or we could say that Jason can buy 12 oranges. Miss Phillips bought 1 5/10 pounds of ground beef from Kroger. She paid a total of $6.75 for the ground beef. What was the price per pound? So in this question, we're trying to find out how much per pound the meat cost. We see that she spent a total of $6.75 and that she bought 1 5/10 pounds. To solve this problem, I'm going to divide $6.75 by 1 5/10. We'll notice that in our divisor, we have a decimal. So our first step is to move the decimal to the right to make this a whole number. So I'm going to go ahead and move that over 1 place. So now that is 15. Step 2 is to move the decimal in our dividend the same number of places. So it's right here. We need to move it 1 place over. So I'm going to place it right there. So now that is 67 5/10. Now we're going to divide as if this were a whole number. So 15 will not go into 6, but 15 will go into 67. It'll go 4 times. 4 times 15 is 60. 67 minus 60 is 7. We'll bring down the 5 here. 15 will go into 75 5 times. 5 times 15 is 75. 75 minus 75 is 0. Okay, so now that we've finished dividing this out, we need to place our decimal. So we move our decimal up from the divisor into the quotient, or excuse me, up from the dividend into the quotient, and we get 4 5/10. Now, this asks us what was the price per pound. So we know that 4 5/10 is equal also to 4 50/100. And since we're talking about money, we need to have this in the hundredths place. So our answer is going to be $4.50 per pound. So class, to review, remember the steps for dividing a number whenever there's a decimal in the divisor. First, move the decimal in the divisor to the right to make a whole number. Second, move the decimal in the dividend the same number of places to the right. Third, divide the number as if it were a whole number. And then finally, fourth, place the decimal in the quotient by moving it up from the dividend. Hope you guys do well on your math lesson today. Be blessed. Bye-bye.